Okay, this is my endometriosis diagnosis story, summarized and told literally as fast as I can do it. I started noticing that my periods were not normal, probably when I was like, I don't know, 16, 17 is when I really started being like, oh, okay, other people are not experiencing the things that I'm experiencing. But I started my period when I was like 14. So from 14 to 17, I was in pain all the time. I mean, I was in pain past that too. But I started noticing that my periods were not normal around that time because I was bleeding through everything. Like, bleeding through everything, guys. Okay? Sorry, TMI. Not sorry, though. Like, we can talk about periods, right? Like, that's fine. Bleeding through absolutely everything. And in so much pain, not even on my cycle, that I was, like, bent over in pain. Sometimes I couldn't walk. I missed a lot of school. I was a cheerleader, I was a flyer, so some of the pain, like, wasn't even some of the pain was, like, not even in my pelvic region, it was under my rib cage. So the reason I brought up cheerleading is because sometimes I would get, like, rib pain, and I'd be like, oh, maybe I, like, fell, and it's bruising, and I don't know. No one thought it had anything to do with my period. I also got my gallbladder taken out when I was 15. We thought, okay, the gallbladder's gone. Everything had to have been that. Then I got admitted to the hospital for like a week when I was 16 because I was crawling on the ground in pain for days. And my mom's like, we gotta take you to the hospital. This is crazy. During that like week-long period that I was in the children's hospital, they were just gonna take out my appendix. After a couple days, they were like, we don't know what's going on. She had her gallbladder taken out. Maybe there's like things going on. We'll take out her appendix. And then my mom basically was like, no, we're not just going to take out more organs. And I was on a lot of pain medication, so I don't remember much of it. But I wasn't like down with having 2 organs gone before I was even 18. Then fast forward to, I think it was like 19 is when I started going to the gynecologist regularly and being like, something is not right. I'm in pain all the time. I don't really know what's going on. Oh, I also had an IUD at this point. I got an IUD when I was 16, because I can't be on normal hormonal birth control. Long story. So I got an IUD. They were like, oh, this will help with the heavy bleeding. It did. Not gonna lie. I don't bleed anymore. I spot sometimes, but I don't bleed anymore. So I'm like, okay, that definitely helps with that. I have not had a normal bleeding period since I was 16. I'm on my 3rd IUD now. But when I was like 19, I started regularly going to the gynecologist, and I was like, I'm in pain all the time. I'm missing class all the time. Now I'm in college, so you can only miss a certain amount of classes. Like at my university, some of the classes you could only miss 4 or 5 times, and then you failed, like auto fail. So I was missing a bunch of class. I was terrified I was going to fail. I was pre-med, so I'm like, I'm going to fail my classes, and then, like, I won't get into med school because I failed classes. And my gynecologist just kept telling me it was normal, and to take more ibuprofen, and to exercise, because maybe exercising would help, but, like, how was I supposed to exercise when I was in so much pain all the time? Then, after a year-long chronic pain journal where I had to every single day basically make a log of like what my pain scale was that day, if I missed class, what I was eating that day, just a whole bunch of stuff, because then there also was a period where my gyno was like, oh, this is all because you still eat McDonald's sometimes and you don't have a gallbladder, so like that's why you're in pain, which is valid, but not really, because if I ate McDonald's 2 weeks ago and I'm still having cramping, I don't think that's correlated. So, long story short, she finally agreed to the surgery. I literally had to sign a little waiver to be like, if I don't have endometriosis, I will pay for that shit out of pocket, because I was so tired of my family and my doctors telling me that I was crazy and that I was a hypochondriac, and this was insane. So I was like, you know what? Fine. Do the surgery. If you don't find anything, I'll fucking pay for it, which, I mean, looking back on that, what was I thinking? Okay, that's crazy. But thankfully, it worked out for me. I did get diagnosed with endometriosis, and I was so excited. I was like, thank God I'm not insane. Like, I'm not insane. Then the reality of having a chronic illness kind of set in, and I was like, oh, this sucks. Like, it's never going away. Because then, you know, endometriosis is treatable, technically, I guess. Not really, kind of treatable, but it's definitely not curable, and I will have this for the rest of my hopefully long-lived life. But yeah, that's my very quick summarized version of how I got diagnosed with endo after years of kind of fighting for that to happen. So the moral of the story is keep advocating for yourself, and although it may not be endometriosis, there's like a battery of other things that it could be. And if you are in a shit ton of pain like that all the time, keep pushing.